You need to change yourself and change your environment. If you know that you need to make a major change to your environment, then here's something you must keep in mind. You must also determine to change yourself at the same time. Here's why. If you try to change yourself but not your environment, growth will be slow and difficult. Change your environment but not yourself, growth will be slow and less difficult. But if you change your environment and yourself, growth will be faster and more successful. By putting both together at the same time, you increase and accelerate your chances for success. Environments that foster growth have a feel to them. Others are ahead of me, so I'm challenged continually. My focus is forward. The atmosphere is affirming. I'm often out of my comfort zone. I wake up excited. Failure's not my enemy. Others are growing. People desire change. Growth is modeled and expanded. That's a growth environment. If you want to grow, then spend time with great people, visit great places, attend great events, read great books, and listen to great people speak. As you consider changing yourself and your environment, think about the elements that the right kind of growth environment provide. The right soil to grow in. Some questions to ask. What nourishes me? What causes me to grow? The right air to breathe in. That's the environment we're talking about. What keeps me alive? What's my purpose? It's the right climate to live in. What sustains me? The people around me. They say that if you put a pumpkin in a jug when it's the size of a walnut, it will grow to the size and shape of the jug and never get bigger. That can happen to a person's thinking. Don't allow that to happen to you. Change who you spend your time with. According to research by psychologist Dr. David McClellan of Harvard, the people with whom you habitually associate with are called your reference group. And these people determine as much as 95% of your success or failure in life. King Solomon of Israel wrote, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harms." Charles Tremendous Jones, a well-known speaker, said, "You are the same today that you are going to be in 5 years from now, except for two things: the people with whom you associate with and the books that you read." Jim Rohn asserted that we become the combined average of the 5 people we hang around the most. Rohn would say we could tell the quality of our health, attitude, and income by looking at the people around us. He believed that we start to eat what they eat, talk the way they talk, read what they read, think like they think, watch what they watch, and we become the combined characteristics of this reference group. I like the way Sue Inquist sees the issue. Inquist has been called the John Wooden of women's softball. Player, coach, she helped win a total of 11 NCAA softball titles. Inquist has espoused the 33% rule. She says you can divide people in school, your team, work, anywhere else in the bottom, middle, and top thirds. They always have the same characteristics. The bottom thirds suck the life out of you because nothing's ever good enough for them. They take energy and motivation out of an environment. The middle third are happy and positive when things are going well, but down in times of adversity. Circumstances dictate their attitude. The top third maintains a positive attitude even in tough times. They're leaders, influencers, and game changers. Those are the kind of people we should try to be, and those are the kind of people we should spend our time with. It is always comfortable, but it's always profitable to associate with people larger than ourselves. The Italian proverb says, "Keep company with good men, and you will increase their number." What kinds of larger people should we spend our time with? People with integrity, people who are positive, people who are ahead of us professionally, spiritually, and intellectually, people who lift us up instead of knocking us down, people who take the high road, never the low, and above all, people who are growing. They should be like Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau, whose question for each other whenever they met was, "What have you learned since we last met?" I highly recommend that you also find an accountability partner to take this growth journey with you. That person will help you to stick with your right decisions and help you avoid making wrong ones. A good accountability partner should have a few qualities. One, they should love you unconditionally. They should desire your success. They should be mature. They should ask agreed upon questions. They need to help you when you need help. You cannot take the growth journey alone, not if you want to reach your potential. The most significant factor in any person's environment is the people. If you change nothing else in your life the better than that, you will have increased your chances of success tenfold. So think long and hard about who you're spending the most time with. For wherever they're headed, so are you. Challenge yourself in your new environment. You must be intentional about finding and creating those growth opportunities. You must develop the habit and discipline of challenging yourself. One of the first ways that I challenged myself was by making my goals public. Few things push you, a person like a deadline and an audience. That didn't mean that I always reached my goals, but I found that I told others about what I intended to do. I worked harder. I worked in such a way that I wouldn't be ashamed of my efforts, even if everyone was watching them. Another way I've challenged myself is to look for one major growth opportunity every week. Follow through on it and learn from it. Whether it's meeting with friends, a learning lunch with a mentor, a conference I'm attending, or a speaking event where I must get time with high-profile leaders, I always prepare the same way, by asking 5 questions before learning time. I ask, what are their strengths? This is where I learned the most. What are they learning now? This is how I can catch their passion. What do I need right now? This helps me to apply what I learned to my situation. Who have they met? Who have they read? What have they done that have helped them? This helps me to find additional growth opportunities. What haven't I asked that I should have? This enables them to point out changes I need to make from their perspective. A better growth environment won't help you much if you don't do everything in your power to make the most of it. It's like an entrepreneur being given money for new opportunities and never using it. You must seize the growth opportunities you have and make the most of them by challenging yourself. Focus on the moment. The changes we want to make in our lives come only in the present. What we do now controls who we become and where we are in the future. We live and work in the present. Harvey Firestone Jr. said, "Today is when everything that's going to happen from now on begins." If you need to make changes in yourself and your environment, don't worry about your past. I read the former movie star and diplomat Shirley Temple Black learn about the power of living in the moment from her mother-in-law. Evidently, when her husband Charles was a boy, he asked his mother, "What was the happiest moment of your life?" "This moment right now," she responded. "But what about all the other happy moments in your life? What about when you were married?" he asked. She laughed and said, "My happiest moment then was then. My happiest moment now is now." You can only really live in the moment you're in. So to me, that's always the happiest moment. Mother Teresa observed, "Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow has not yet come. We only have today." Let us begin. If you need to make changes in yourself and your environment, don't dwell on your past. You can change it. Don't worry about your future. You can't control it. Focus on the current moment and what you can do now. Move forward despite criticism. In his classic, The Science of Getting Rich, Arthur Wallis D. Waddles writes, "Do not wait for a change of environment before you act, because a change of environment through action, you can act upon your present environment so as to cause yourself to be transferred to a better environment." Growth always comes from taking action, and taking action almost always brings criticism. Move forward anyway. To reach your potential, you must do not only what others believe you cannot do, but what even you believe you cannot do. Most people underestimate themselves. They shoot for what they know they can reach. Instead, they should reach for what's beyond their grasp. If you don't try to create the future you want, you must endure the future you get. As you take action to change yourself and your environment, you will almost certainly be criticized for it. Poet Ralph Waldo Emerson observed, "Whatever course you decide upon, there's always someone to tell you that you're wrong." There are always difficulties arising when you attempt to believe that your critics are right. To map out a plan of action and follow it to the end requires some of the same courage which a soldier needs. Peace has its victories, but it takes brave men to win them. Les Brown says, "Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Their words hurt, but they didn't make me question my decision."